Welcome to Manning Field as we start game number 2 in our new season here on TV 15. This is, as usual, opening up with the Lynn City Tournament, the girls' style, and this is, as I like to call it, Thanksgiving in September. And I do that because it's English and classical. The way this works with the 4 teams, every 3 or 4 years they get to play each other, as they do in the Boverini Christmas tournament. English in the maroon, classical in the white. The veteran coach, Ed McNeil, on the sideline for English. The Iorati family, Mark and Greg, along with Kelly Lombard, in starting their second season here at Classical. And both teams have graduated goaltenders, and they're trying to find one. Classical is using Anna Flaherty, who's a 9th grader, starting. On the other side, Ed McNeil told me his goaltender is away on a trip. So he was wondering who it was going to be, and it's Caitlin Bowden, who's in net. Bowden usually plays up front. Glasgow's got most of the team back from last year. I don't believe they had a senior on their team last year. That's a little different than this year when they have 10 seniors. And it goes off the foot of Glasgow, high, wide, and off to the right side, and out of play. The winner of this will get St. Mary's in the championship final on Saturday. English kind of gave it away there. Now it gets deflected and English gets it back. They bounce it out off Glasgow. The loser of this will get Lynn Tech. St. Mary's had a big first half, knocking off Lynn Tech. They knock it deep, and they knock it too deep. They'll let it go out of play. Glasgow's going to get a corner kick. I think it's Mackenzie Shea going to take it. Good athlete, good softball player too. Coming from the far side. Everybody breaking to the net. Dead center, it goes by everybody. Everybody running to the net, the ball went right by him. Glasgow trying to keep it alive. Shot, blocked, shot again. Bowden got a hand on it, knocked it down. It was going to go wide, she got a hand on it. Almost left it in front of the net, but there was nobody there for Glasgow to pick it up, and English was able to clear it away. Glasgow can't keep it in. English lost most of the scoring they had last year. They had a losing record, but they had a lot of games that they were in. Games that were 1 or 2 goals that were decided late. And they bailed out of their very tough schedule. Every year they would play Danvers and Peabody and Beverly, and they played them twice. And that was like 6 losses before we even start the season, because those were 3 of the best teams around in the state. In fact, this year, Danvers is rated nationally. English deep in classical territory for the first time. Pop loose. Classical clears it away. English took it away, and then English got dumped. Abdullah Merida got knocked on their back. So English gets a free kick from just inside the 40-yard line. Alisi Newsom took the kick. Classical bumps it ahead, hustling back, getting there and breaking it up. They look like Brooke Zaheen, one of the captains for the Lady Bulldogs. Glasgow makes a quick substitution. Glasgow gets the throw in. They knock it deep, looking for a break. Bowden will come out of the net. Caitlin Bowden, I think, was surprised she was going to be in net tonight. She came here, she was working out. She usually plays up front. And all of a sudden, Ed McNeil called her over and said, you're going to be in net. She had to go see if she could borrow a pair of gloves. English trying to keep it in the zone. And they call it out off English. These girls have got a little bit easier. It's cool down there on the turf. St. Mary's and Tech starts at 5 o'clock. The sun was brightly shining, and it was brutal. Extremely hot. They knock it deep. English defense breaks it up. It's going to go out. Olivia Pedro. That's a name that people certainly know in the city of Lynn. She takes the throw in. Defend on a clearing, but then it was cleared away by Ariana Garcia. They knock it deep. It gets by everybody. Hustling, they're not going to get there in time. It's going to go out of play. Melissa Zayas, her sister, was the leading scorer for English last year. She was knocked that deep, trying to lead English to the net, and it went just a little too far. Moscow takes it away. Broken up. And it got blocked back. Now, Newsom got it now. A shot from long range. One bounce into the lap of Bowden. I think that was Sierra Collins with the shot. But Bowden got a good look at it because it came from long range. English breaks it up. And English knocks it out. Glasgow again. Coach Iarati getting people in and out quickly. Popping around. English trying to clear it away. English finally gets control of it, and then it gets knocked away, knocked loose. And Glasgow knocked it out of play. Up straight up in the air. And I'm not sure what the whistle was for. I didn't see anybody offside, but I guess that was the call. English kicks it around. They knock it away. Glasgow overran it and then gets it back. Broke it up. That was Newsom again, knocking it deep. English nice takeaway. That was Juliana Perry, I think, with the takeaway. It goes into the English bench area. English with the throw-in. Glasgow's had a little better of it. Haven't really had a tough shot. They've had one or two shots on net that Bowden was able to come out and field easily. Anna Flaherty hasn't seen anything come close to her yet. They did knock it back to her once to let her kick it away, but it wasn't anywhere near a shot on net. English trying to control. They knock it ahead, but Glasgow knocks it to the middle. Glasgow's trying to go deep. Now they knock it to the middle, blocked. English breaks it up. Picked off by Glasgow. English breaks it up again. Maritta trying to come down the near side, had it knocked away. Now Glasgow coming back. Nice little shift to the middle. Had it blocked, and when it blocked, it came back up and hit it right in the hands. So she made a nice little shift to get around. I think that was Abigail Iarati. And when she went around, it went off. The English player came back up and hit Iarati in the hand, and that gave English the free kick. Glasgow takes it away, and DeFranzo, I think she was trying to lead Iarati, but she threw it way too far. I thought it went out off Glasgow. They're giving Glasgow the throw-in. I didn't think anybody came close to getting the ball. It slips through. Bolton comes in before anybody can get to it. There were 3 white shirts looking for the ball out in front. Bolton did a nice job. Kind of shanks it, but gets it away from harm's way. Collins takes it away. English breaks it up and knocks it deep. And they knocked it very deep. And Flaherty wanted to make sure nobody beat anybody to the ball. She got there first and booted it away. Now it's back deep in the English end. They were trying to kick it out of play, I think. Instead, they kicked it right to Classical. Pop high in the air. Bounces loose. English gets there first. That was a nice little shift by Zayas. Hospital picks it off at midfield. To the near side. English will get there first. And they knock it out. And it got knocked out by Brooke Saheen. Throw in by Pedro. A foot race, and getting it first again is Flaherty. It went deep. And it was Kebrew for Classical. Trying to get there first. Break for Iarati, trying to knock it to the net. It's wide of the net. It was Kebrew and Zayas who had that foot race. And Flaherty said, I'm not going to take any chances. I'm going to come out and get it and kick it away. This is a very strange press box. I asked them if they would fix the lights in here. If we have people at the far end of the press box, down near the scoreboard, sitting there, all the lights in the press box work. If there's nobody at the other end and I'm down here virtually by myself with my crew, the lights go on, and then after they're on a timer for like, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes, and then they go off. And you have to walk all the way back to the elevator end. And when you get, before you get the elevator to go down, the lights go back on again. And that's a pain in the neck. Glasgow beats English to it. They knock by. They walk in. Bowden makes the save. Nice job. She went out. Got held onto the post, and made the save. Past the halfway mark of this first half, no score, English and Glasgow. Again, like I usually say, Thanksgiving. And they had an opening, and they took the shot and knocked it up over the net. English gave it away. Glasgow had an opportunity. They picked it off, and they drop-kicked it up over everything out of play. I think it was Casey Rouse with the shot. English almost gave it away. Glasgow picks it off. English breaks it up and knocks it deep. It goes all the way through. Bowden will get there and grab it. I think that was Collins bearing down on her, hoping that she'd leave a rebound or bobble it or whatever. They get it out in front. Can't get a foot on it. English leaned on the shooter. The shot went backwards rather than toward the net. Glasgow still trying to get it near the net. English steps in and knocks it out of play. And they knocked it almost out of the ballpark. I said Collins. It was Collins, but it was Mary Collins, not Sierra Collins. It was down close. Trying to get the shot on net. I'm not sure what that call was. Unless it hit somebody in the hand. English only get the throw in. Glasgow picks it off, trying to walk in, trying to get around the defense. Good cover by English back there. Trying to go deep. Glasgow breaks it up. English knocks it deep. Hebrews back there to knock it away. Glasgow coming back the other way. That was Newsom who made that nice defensive play on a almost breakaway. Nice takeaway there by Glasgow. English gets it back. Zayas has to dump it back. Pedro took it away, blocked it. Zayas kept it alive, but now it's knocked deep, and it goes out. "15 minutes and counting left in this first half. No score yet. The winner gets St. Mary's. The loser gets Lynn Tech. Glasgow trying to walk in. Bowden trying to get there first, and she does. She dives on it. Almost like recovering a fumble. It rolled loose. Bowden had to come all the way out of the net, almost to the 10-yard line. That shot goes wide and out of play. That might have been Izzy McGaughy, who was chasing that loose ball, and Bowden just came out and dove on it, recovered the fumble, and McGaughy wound up going over her. Skips by everybody. Classical centers it, tipped around. English trying to clear it. They put it right on a classical foot and they fanned on it. Misfired. Zayas trying to knock it deep. A foot race. English trying to get there and keep it in. They can't. It goes out of play. Nice try by Melissa Zayas. And with just over 13 minutes left in the scoreless first half, we're going to get a timeout. As they come out of the timeout, Classical will have the throw-in down deep in their own end. Classical's had a little bit of the play. They've had a couple of opportunities, just missed. Bowden made a couple of saves. Now they almost gave that away. Zayas just couldn't get complete control of it, or she would have walked in. English takes it away. They knock it to the net. Flaherty will come out and grab it and boot it away. Zayas looked up. She had it, but couldn't quite get complete control of it, trying to walk in. And that little extra step that she had to take allowed Classical to catch up. Nice little shift by Zayas there. Actually, that little shift was Merida getting it to Zayas. Classical trying to manipulate, can't get around. And they're going to call English. Molly Mannion got pushed. So Pedro will take the throw in. Nice little crowd here for opening night here on Channel 15 and Manning Field. And now we got bodies going down. Are they going to give a penalty kick? I don't think that warranted a penalty kick. They were both going for the ball, inadvertent trip, and they're going to give Classical a penalty kick. Wow, that's a tough break for the Bulldogs. I didn't think there was anything in that play other than two people going for the ball and legs got tangled up, and they're going to give a penalty kick. Bowden almost made the save. That's a tough call. That's a very tough call. They gave Classical a penalty kick. The player did go down, but I didn't think it was anything deliberate or. And I believe that was Sierra Collins. And that gives Classical the lead with just over 11 minutes left. That's a tough way to get on the board. There was no question the player went down, but I think it was both players. They were both going for the ball, and it wasn't a deliberate trip. It was just inadvertently the play was out. I didn't think it happened in the box. Classical walking in, taking the shot. Bowden was going to make the save, but out in front of her, I think it was Zaheen who whacked it away with her body. Bowden could have caught it, but Zaheen was standing right in front of the goaltender and deflected it out. That could have been a sticky situation. And now, with 10:47 left, we're going to get our second timeout. So Classical leading 1-0 with 10:47 left in this first half. They come out of the timeout. Classical with a penalty kick. And Sierra Collins getting the first goal of the year for the Classical Rams. English will take the throw in. Trying to center it. They're in front. Bowden makes the save. And a beauty. Nice passing by Class will set that up. I think that was Collins again. Shot from long range. Goes high and wide and out of play. Roddy trying to get around. Nice takeaway by English. Classical gets it right back, and the shot went wide off the side of the net. And it's Collins again with an opportunity. It was Zaheen with a nice defensive play taken away from Iarati, but it wound up on the foot of Collins, and she drilled it, and it just caught the side of the net. Classical trying to keep it in. Couldn't. They knock it out. They knock it deep again. And again, Flaherty come way out of the net and knock it away. She's been active in the net when she had to be. She's only a ninth grader. Getting her feet wet in this first game of the season. Out off Classical. English breaking it up. They can't really get anything going. They've had a couple of long passes, but they haven't been able to connect. They haven't got a shot on net as yet. And here's English clearing it away. And they wind up with it. But Kebrew's back there. Knocking it away. English takes it away. Classical takes it right back and starts it the other way. Deep to the near side. Iorati trying to walk in. Takes the shot. Bowden got a good look at that one. Iorati didn't have enough time to look up. It was McGaughey, excuse me, breaking down the middle. She could have dropped it off, and McGaughey would have walked in alone. Zaheen was chasing Iorati, forced her to take a shot going away from the net. She hooked it right in the middle of the net, but Bowden got a good look at it. Little shift, but then knocked it a little too far, and English was able to knock it away and out of play. I think that was Newsom knocking it out. Pedro with the throw in, gets headed up. Haskell trying to collect, walking around. Broken up nicely again by the English defense. English couldn't keep it in. That was Zaheen, I think, with another nice defensive play. And it was Newsom that finally knocked it out. Pedro will get the throw in again. English knocks it out. Popped up. English trying to clear it away. They knock it out. I think this is going to give Classical a corner kick. 5 minutes and counting left in the first half. Classical 1-0 on Sierra Collins' penalty kick. The kick is coming from the near side, and they were going to take it initially. Now Keebro's going to take it. Classical does a little bit differently. They don't line up everybody in front of the net. They line up everybody away from the net, and they all break to the net. So Keebro from the near side. Out in front, couldn't get a foot on it or a chest on it, and it bounced loose, and Zayas cleared it away. From long range, it goes wide. That was Molly Mannion. One of those ninth graders they have. Her and Flaherty in net. So English will get to kick it away. Classical keeps it in. And I believe that's going to give Classical a corner kick. Keebro will take it again, this time from the far side. Winding down this first half, Sierra Collins. Bowden almost made the save on the penalty kick. She made a great effort. I think she got a hand on it. Keebro from the far side. Everybody milling around out in front now. Everybody picking a partner on defense. She kicked it away, and English easily cleared it. That went off the side of her foot, I think. She'd like to have that one back. Now we have a collision on the other side. English and Classical both went down. Waiting to see who they call it on. It's going to give Classical a free kick, I think, the way they're lining up. From a tough angle just inside the 20-yard line. to the net, over the net. People thought it went in because it settled. When it settled behind the net, it looked like it was in the net. Gebru with that kick hit a line shot, dead center of the net, but just high enough it went over the net, and it landed right in the back, and people got excited because when that net moved, they thought it was in the net. Final 2 minutes of the first half, 1-0 Glasgow. They'll get to do this a couple of more times this year, these two teams, in the regular season in the Northeastern Conference. Broken up and knocked out. That was Mannion knocking it out. Actually, it was Casey Rouse knocking it out. Mannion with it now, lost it. She get tied up with Julia Jordan. They were both going for it. Wound up Glasgow knocking it out. Jordan winds up with it with a rush. Great hustle by Newson catching up. They blow the whistle. That's going to do it for the first half. So not much to choose between these two teams. The penalty kick, it was a tough call against English, but Sierra Collins knocked it home. Bowden almost made the save, and that's the difference between English and Glasgow. Sierra Collins' penalty kick. It's Glasgow 1, English nothing at halftime of this second game of the doubleheader in this city series, city tournament. The winner getting St. Mary's, the loser getting Lynn Tech. But right now, Glasgow sitting on a 1-0 lead at halftime. Welcome back as we get set to start the second half here at Manning Field. The difference, Sierra Collins' penalty kick. Glasgow on top of arch rival English 1-0. 40 minutes of soccer left to see who takes on St. Mary's in the championship final. Glasgow almost gave that away. Glasgow kind of dominated. English didn't get a shot on net. They made some nice defensive plays. They made a couple of passes just a little too long. Glasgow had the better of it chances. Bowden made a couple of saves. And that one difference, the penalty kick. And I've gone this far, and I apologize to everybody, including the Losey and the Bonilla families. I didn't notice until I just got a glimpse of the program that the proceeds from this year's tournament are to benefit the Losey Bonilla families. Tiana Losey just couldn't get the shot off. A great rush by English. Great hustle by Glasgow to get back, and it's just a little sort of a hip check as they were trying to get the shot off, and it went out off English, out of play. That's the best chance that English has had. And I believe it was Mannion who made the defensive play. But Tiana Losey, a terrific young lady, and the Losey name certainly well known in the city of Lynn, as is the Bonilla family. She was vacationing, having a great time. And all of a sudden, a drunken driver went on the wrong side of the road, smashed into a car, and Tiana is no longer with us. So they surely didn't expect to have funeral expenses and other expenses thrown on top of them. Bowden again with a nice save coming out. It was a foot race. It looked like Glasgow might get the shot off. It looked like Mackenzie Shea was going to at least get the shot off. And Bowden came out and smothered it. She was just starting her life at 20 years old with Jackson Bonilla just celebrating his first birthday. And John Bonilla, along with his mother, are still hospitalized due to the accident. So all of the proceeds from this tournament are going to go to Tiana's family, her fiance John Bonilla. She's a graduate of Classical High School. And driver of the other car was under the influence and driving erratically, according to police reports. And Tiana, her fiance John, his mother, and the young baby Jackson, they were vacationing at the family's lakeside camp in New Hampshire. They were going to Weirs Beach, and they got run into and cut off her life before she had a chance to live it. So anybody out there who would like to help, donations are being accepted, and anything left over that comes in will go to helping to raise the young one-year-old. So our deepest sympathies, our condolences, and our thoughts and our prayers go out to the Losey, the Bonilla family. I'm well acquainted with all of them. They are very good assets in the city of Lynn. And now it's going to be left to the Losey family, along with John, her fiance, to take care of young Jackson. And there'll be a void left in that young baby's life, along with John and the Losey family, the Bonilla family. That will be very hard to fill, probably impossible. So again, anybody interested, donations are being accepted, and all of the money that comes through the gates here in any way, shape, or form will go to help take care of the expenses and hopefully there'll be stuff left over to try and help with the expenses of raising young Jackson. Young Jackson will have a horrible, horrible memory the rest of his life. The only saving grace was that he wasn't quite 1 year old when it happened, and he wasn't really aware of what was going on. So he didn't have to live through it, although he will have that void the rest of his life. But it could have been a lot worse. So again, our deepest sympathies, our condolences, and our thoughts and prayers go out to both the Losey and the Bonilla families. English is going to try and jack up some offense here. They trail 1-0. Glasgow's had a little bit of offense. They've had the ball in the English end down deep a couple of times and got a couple of shots off and misfired on a couple. Bowden made a couple of saves. She almost made a save on the penalty kick. But English hasn't got a shot on net yet. Glasgow get it back. They knock it deep, looking for a break. They're onside. The shot. Bowden got a piece of it, but it went off her hand and it went in. They got a nice pass. They got a break. Bowden came out, challenged the shooter, went up with two hands, got a piece of it, and couldn't tip it forward. It tipped and went over her head. Into the back of the net, and Glasgow has a little bit of insurance. They now lead it 2-0. Fatima Gurdia with the goal. Off the crossbar. And now they score. She got a second opportunity. She drilled it high and went off the crossbar, bounced right back in her lap, and she nailed it. We mentioned her sister was the leading scorer last year. This is Melissa Zayas. So just like that, English got it back, and we're back to a one-goal game. Great rush. Zayas walked in, drilled it, got it by Flaherty, but it hit the crossbar. And it looked dismal for English, but it bounced right back to Zayas, and she was able to use one of the English defenders as a shield. I don't think Flaherty ever saw it, and she knocked it in the back of the net. English looking for the tying goal. Classwell knocks it away. Classwell coming back. They get around one defender. Down the far side. Trying to throw it in front. And they knock it home. Gurdia gets her second goal. Glasgow gets it right back. Set up perfectly right out in front. I think it was McGahey that went down the far side, beat the defender a couple of times, threw it out in front. Gurdia was sitting right on the doorstep. Out in front, Glasgow will clear it away. So Fatima Gurdia gets 2 in a row for Glasgow. In between, Zayas got one for English. Glasgow's got their 2-goal lead back. and I believe it was McGahee that made that great rush down the far side, beat a couple of defenders, and at the last minute just threw it almost like a corner kick, a lot closer than a corner kick, but dumped it out in front, and there was Gertie sitting right on the doorstep, and Bowden had no chance. Hosko knocks it up and away and out. Newson with the throw in. Gertie knocks it away. Gabriel pops it up. Down the near side, Mackenzie Shea made a nice little shift, but very good defense. Oh, a nice little shift by Mackenzie Shea. Good defense again. I think that's Raven Rapley with a good defensive work. Breaking it up a couple of times. Actually, it was Newson with those nice defensive plays. So the corner kick, Keebler will take it from the near side. Out in front, bounces by everybody. Shot to the net, cleared away. It's loose, just cleared away. They were lining up a shot. They were just taking a step, swinging the foot to take a shot, and English cleared it away. They knock it deep. Keebler hustles back, gains control, and clears it away. Keebler breaks it up again. Knocks it out behind the classical bench area. Again, nice little crowd here. Everybody bought a ticket. Then the Losey Bonilla families are going to be helped quite a bit with those horrific expenses they unfortunately have to come up with. Mackenzie Shea gives it back. They dump it ahead to Gertie, broken up nicely. Nice little shift again by Mackenzie Shea. In front. They score, but it's not going to count. They're going to call them offside. Ariana Garcia made a couple of nice defensive plays in that little surge. And then when they threw it, Classical was way behind the defense offside. Classical right back at it, down the far side. They dump it right in the middle. Shot got blocked nicely. And Classical going to get called for a little push off there. Didn't try to hide that. Melina Biondi made a nice defensive play prior to that. And then Klasko got caught. A little physical contact. Newsom will kick it away. Klasko kicks it back the other way. Newsom returns the favor. Down the far side. Broken up nicely by the defense of English. Klasko's about to take the throw in, but Klasko will make multi changes. I just want Julia Jordan and Mackenzie Shea, they were exchanging positions, one leaving, one coming in. And usually when you go by, you give a little high five. Well, they've made up a new little signal. They gave the high five, but then they genuflected on one knee. Trying to get a shot off, can't get around the defense. Also going to get caught for a little push-off. They couldn't get around the excellent defense. Jordan was trying to get around, and they wouldn't let it get around. And that was Rapley with a nice defensive work. Jordan and Rapley going at it again. They kick it ahead. Juliana Perry couldn't get a hand out of the way. Jessica Page let it fly and hit Juliana Perry on the hand before she could move it. Keebler will take the free kick from just outside the 15-yard line. Kicks it long and wide and out of bounds. So he was trying to hook it back to the net, set it out way to the far side, and it just stayed wide and went well out of bounds. Glasgow got it around, but then lost it out of bounds. Glasgow breaks it up, starts it back. English knocks it away. Halfway through and counting the second half, 3-1 Glasgow. Fatima Gurdia leading the way with 2 goals back-to-back for Glasgow. Eva Collins gave him a 1-0 lead with the penalty kick. Gurdia scored, then Zayas cut it back to a 1-goal lead, and Gurdia scored again. And that's where we are, 3-1. As it goes off, Glasgow out of play. English will boot it away. Biondi will do the honors. Off a classical foot. Classical keeps it alive. I guess they're going to say classical. Looked like she got a shoulder on it. I guess they thought she got her hand on it. They blew the whistle. English will kick it away. Glasgow relentless, keeping it in the English end. Broken up. And now we got a late whistle for a trip, inadvertent trip. That was Caitlin Bowden, so I'm not sure who's in that now for English. They had a few that Ed McNeil was trying out because they're, I believe it's Pamela Rosales who is their goaltender. She's on a trip or she's not here, so they were trying to find someone to fill in. Bowden was in earlier, but I just noticed that that was Bowden who got called for the inadvertent trip. She's back in her normal position. I didn't realize they changed starting the second half. The hardest part of this game is to tell who the goaltenders are, when they're in, when they're out, because they're not allowed to wear, and I don't know why they're not allowed to wear the same uniforms as their counterparts, which means they don't wear numbers, most of them. They just wear a different color shirt. So everybody has a little different colored shirt, and you never know who the goaltenders are. Down the far side, broken up and knocked out. I think that's going to give English a corner kick. Or a classical corner kick, excuse me. Keebler will take it from the far side. They just dropped it off. Now they're trying to give it back. Out in front, English got a piece and knocked it away. Good defense. English will get the free kick. Skips past. Knocked forward. Jordan knocked it too far, went out. And Newsom will kick it away again. Jordan again knocks it deep. Newsom back there. Taken away by Classical, almost walking in. They do get a shot off. Bodies go down. English went down. Classical went down. Thank goodness both of them are getting up. They almost gave that one away out in front. And then when they finally did get it, they had a very tough angle to shoot from, and it went off the side of the net and out of play. As we got 15 minutes and counting left in this one, with Classical up on top by 2. Off Classical, out of play. And Classical had it, and it went out off Collins. Classical will track it down right in front of their own bench here. Now they can't control it, and it goes out. The enemy is for English now is the clock. They need 2 goals to tie it up. Glasgow clears it away. English knocks it back. That'll go out off English. And we got a whistle because one of the English kids behind the play. I didn't see anything anywhere near the ball. It was behind the play, and she goes hopping off with her leg. And I'll take a look at her on the bench. Hopefully nothing serious. Just a tough night. It was really warm, hot all day. Gets a little bit cool now, but first time. They've had some scrimmages, but scrimmages are totally different than game time. Scrimmages are usually controlled by the coaches trying to look at things and see things, whether it's football or soccer. So they're out there for the first time going full tilt. So very easy to come up with a little bit of a pull. Hopefully there's not much else. Blocked and taken away by English, now it goes out off English. English breaks it up and knocks it out. Class was like, I got it, no, you got it. Take it, no, you take it. And wound up with nobody getting it. And now Classical knocks it out. The English will get the throw in. English had that little momentum when Zaya scored to make it 2-1. And they had it in the Classical end with an opportunity, and they misfired. And they haven't been close since. And the one problem with the Lady Bulldogs in all these years, and Ed McNeil will be the first to admit it, is their offense. They have a lot of trouble putting the ball in the back of the net, and they've lost a lot of close games. They've had some 0-0 ties. They kind of predicate their season on playing defense first, keeping the other team off the board, hoping they can get 1 or 2, and their defense will carry them. Knocked back. English knocks it ahead. Classical trying to control. They tip it back. And it went out. Page couldn't keep it in. It was rolling away from her. She tried to get it with her left foot. Couldn't keep it in. Now she knocks it ahead. Gertie got bumped into. Bodies go down. wound up with Gamboni going down. Her and Gertie came together. Now it goes out. Off Classical. Off Collins. Zayas with a nice little shift, trying to get around Mannion. Down the far side. Just got knocked off her foot. She gets it back. Other nice little shift. And they finally knock it away from her. She was trying to get around and maybe get a shot off or center it. She got around Mannion. I think it was Kebrew who finally came over and helped out and knocked it out. But a nice little try by Melissa Zayas. Substitutions were starting to come in. The official said, no, you can't. I'm not sure why. The ball's not in play, but I don't know all the rules here by any stretch of the imagination. They roll the ball in. English trying to throw it on net. It goes by everybody. It's loose out in front. English couldn't get a foot on it. Now they get a foot on it. And it nicked off the crossbar. One of the defenders came over and made a save. The ball was bouncing all over the place like a hot potato. They got one good shot off. They had Flaherty beat, and one of the defenders, I'm not sure, it might have been Page, got a hand on it and knocked it loose, or got a body on it and knocked it loose. And then English got it back and they drilled it. It looked like it was in it. Second time they've hit the crossbar. The last time they hit the crossbar, it came right back to Zayas. She knocked it home. This time the crossbar wasn't as friendly. But English had a golden opportunity there to get back within a goal. And that's a tough stretch right there for English. They had two legitimate chances. I believe it was Page that made the save in net when he beat the goaltender. And then it was the crossbar that made the last save. They tip it to the middle. Loose, they overran it. English overran it. And the shot went wide. It rolled. It rolled right to Olivia White, I believe. And she got a left foot on it, knocked it wide. Let's go back at it. Out in front, and they finally knock it home. They got a back foot on it, and it was going to go wide, and there was Gertie getting her hat trick, sitting right. Fatima on the spot. She was right there out in front to knock it home. I think it was Jordan who got a little back foot, trying to go behind the back sort of to get it on net. And it was going to go a little bit wide. And there was Gertie sitting right out in front. All she had to do was tip it in the open net. She's got a hat trick. And Klaskel's got a good size 4-1 lead. And that's going to be a little too much for English. With 5 minutes left to play, English is not going to overcome this deficit. So it's going to be English and Lynn Tech in the consolation round Saturday morning. And it's going to be Classical and St. Mary's in the girls' championship final Saturday afternoon. Here they come again. She waited a little bit long to get the shot off, and Biondi broke it up. Good defense by Milena Biondi. She waited a little too long, White did, to take that shot or make a pass. She just didn't realize that pass was going to go by the defender, or she might have had a step. By the time she realized the defense had got back and knocked it away. Page will throw it in. Looking for Izzy McGaughy. She pumps it up in the middle. It goes by everybody. Classical takes the shot, and it goes wide. It was a bouncing ball, and they couldn't really get control of it. McGaughy made the nice pass toward the net, and they just couldn't get control of the ball. It kept bouncing, and by the time they did, they kicked it wide. Let's go back at it. Shot went wide. From long range, from the far side, looking for the far corner. It went wide. That was Iarati with the shot from the far side. I'm not sure what the delay is for. Everybody's standing around. The official's over talking to Coach Iarati for something. So we're back to soccer. English will kick it away. McGaughy just kept it in. Lead pass, looking for Gertie. Threw it a little too far. Now it goes out. Caleb Blevins. And it was Alexis Ferraro, with the throw in. Kick goes wide. Yeah, we're in the final 2 minutes. So it's going to be Classical and St. Mary's in the championship final Saturday afternoon. And it's going to be English and Lynn Tech in the consolation round of the 2018 Lynn City tournament. And now Classical will be called again for running over English. And I have to apologize. I've been doing this. The rosters they gave us was kind of on uneven keel. I stole the thunder away from Hannah Guthrie. It was Hannah Guthrie who got the penalty kick in the first half. I had number 10 is Sierra Collins. And I've been calling 10 Sierra Collins all night. And I just realized that number 10 is Hannah Guthrie. So I apologize to Hannah Guthrie for taking that goal away from her on the penalty kick. They tip it ahead, Classical coming back. They try to tip it through, but good hustle by the defense. That was Brooke Shaheen who went back, hustled back. And they blow the whistle, and that's going to do it. So Fatima Gurdia leads the way with a hat trick. And I apologize again to Hannah Guthrie. She got Classical started with the penalty kick, and it was 1-0 at halftime, Classical. And then Gurdia got her first of 3 to make it 2-1. Zayas got the lone goal for English, cut it to 2-1 at the time. Gurdia made it 3-1. English had a golden opportunity to get back within a goal. They had 2 outstanding chances. One, a save, we believe, by Page, filling in when the ball got by the goaltender, knocking it out of the net. And the second one was the crossbar got hit and bounced out. 2 great opportunities to try and make it 3-2. And then Gurdia put the icing on the cake with her hat trick goal to make it 4-1, and that was the final score. So Gurdia with 3, and again I apologize to Hannah Guthrie. She got the penalty kick. Those are the 4, and we have another Zayas for Lynn English. This time Melissa Zayas. Her sister was the leading scorer for English last year. She gets the first and only goal for English this year. So the Zayas family gets it going. So again, it will be Classical and St. Mary's in the championship final on Saturday afternoon. It'll be English and Lynn Tech in the consolation round Saturday morning as Lynn Classical gets a hat trick from Fatima Gurdia, and they win it by a score of 4-1 over arch rival Lynn English on what I like to call Thanksgiving in September here at Manning Field. So we hope you enjoyed the second game on the first day of the new season here on Channel 15. We're going to be going now the rest of the season, both soccer and football. So keep your TVs tuned to Channel 15 and keep up to date on all the sports here in the Northeastern Conference around the North Shore, and especially with the Lynn teams. So 4-1 Glasgow, the final score. Again, we hope you enjoyed it. I'm John Hoffman saying we'll see you next time.